Welcome to this social media privacy primer. I wanted to just do a very quick, ideally within 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes at a push, tiny little mini course, if you like, about privacy, protecting yourself online, kind of a safety manual for a parent and a child to maybe go through, or a teenager. I wouldn't expect kids to be using the internet, but I have seen kids around sort of 9, 10, and 11 on mobile phones and have smartphones at school, coming out of school while I'm waiting for my daughter to pick her up. And I wanted to just go through some little mini checks that you as an adult and as a parent and your kids can do together. So I've kind of put this together covering 4 major social media sites. So this mini course is to help you as a parent do the check when it comes to social media apps. I'm going to concentrate on 4 services: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. For Snapchat, how to stay in control, find friends, block and delete and report problems that you might have on the platform. A quick privacy and safety Instagram checklist you should understand before using the application. Controlling Facebook, do you know who the friends are, who can see you, deactivation, and also ad management. If you're getting ads that you don't want to see, we're going to quickly get into that. Finally, Twitter and protecting your privacy, unfollowing, deleting content, and deactivation of your account. Like I said, this is going to be a very quick course, but I want it to be a primer for people getting into social media for the first time, or at least getting onto these platforms and understanding what's public, what's private, and how to block and deactivate accounts if you run into any problems. Let's get into the course. 1.0, this mini course is to help you as a parent do the check when it comes to social media apps. Do check out my other courses, skillshare.com/Team Humble. So this quickfire course was really about awareness, to question the applications we use, really worry about privacy on the internet, people understanding the flow of data, what's going out, what's coming in, who that person is on the other end. Are they who they say they are? Are you communicating with your friend? Just because the username looks like your friend's username, is it that person? Are they the same username on different platforms? I just kind of want to open up that conversation. I feel like it's a conversation that we don't have enough of as parents and also as adults, talking to our children about it and making them understand why they need to be ambassadors of their data, why they need to understand how to use these tools properly, and how to report things when things go wrong. So to make yourself and others aware of the functions that attach the location to the post, this is a big one for me. It's not necessarily the sending of messages, it's not necessarily the username thing, it's the geolocation. Most smartphones, smart devices now have GPS capability, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can accidentally attach your geolocation to your photo, your video, your audio, and you could be found in that area. And that's a very delicate situation to be in, especially of a certain age, and not understanding the ramifications of a real-time piece of content going out and other people being in that area. I'm not saying everybody is going to be like this, but I want to make sure teenagers and adults even understand when they're posting content, be it real-time, time sensitive, how to go about posting and when to post and when to turn off the geolocation. So this is about understanding really how to secure and to regularly check those privacy settings. We tend to install these applications and then we kind of just use them and we don't really do maintenance on them. And I suggest that we should have that. At least if you have a teenager, you should be doing this maybe once a month at the very least, going through contacts, going through privacy, looking at kind of messages that were a bit off, and teaching our kids about that geolocation thing is very important. Very important. I don't want any child anywhere in the world to go through any kind of harrowing situation because of a social media post, because of them just wanting to have fun with their friends. So it's all about being responsible with that mobile device. It's hard to alleviate worry myself from my daughter's going to be 10 in May, and in the next few years she's probably going to want to get into technology that allows her to chat with her friends, a game with her friends, and I really want to get across very concrete about understanding the flow of data, how it can be used, how it can be manipulated, how ads can be bolted in there and to kind of trick you into a false sense of security, be it buying something, be it your career, be it an online job, or be it somebody who says they're somebody and is actually somebody else, and the ramifications that can come of that. I'm not trying to create fear or scare people, I'm just trying to keep people safe. So screen time regulation is a big one as well. That's the reason why I put this in here. I want as adults and kids to understand it's damaging to your eyes if you're spending far too much time in front front of a screen. And I don't just mean a computer screen. I mean a TV set, a mobile screen, an iPad screen. That is all screen time. Most of these screens have blue light, and that blue light keeps us awake. So if you're using a computer or a little Nintendo in bed at night underneath the covers, actually that screen is keeping you awake because of the blue light coming through. And so I want to be putting a message out there about being responsible, about understanding how long children are on these devices for, and I want you to be accountable to that and make them accountable to the amount of time they can spend on these devices. The ultimate thing here is keeping children safe online. I don't want technology to scare them. I want them to feel creative. I want them to be able to print something off on a 3D printer or cut something out on a laser cutter, but there's just a responsible way of doing it. Electricity is like flicking a light switch and it just comes on. We never really question where the power comes from. We know it comes from a power station somewhere, there's coal involved maybe, or nuclear. The transition, the transport from there to the house, we don't really go into that in detail, and I feel it's the same way for data and applications. And knowing who the custodian of that data is, we need to be better custodians, better ambassadors, especially to our children, for them to understand the ramifications of that data. All right then, so 1.1, we will concentrate on 4 services: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. 4 social media platforms that have been around for years and have established a large user base. If you see any other application on a device you don't know about, please research it. If it's WhatsApp or Signal, do a search online, read some reviews, even download it yourself, have a play with it, understand it, having that dialogue, that conversation with your children about these different applications and what they do. Twitter averaged about 317 million monthly active users in the third quarter of 2016. You can do live video on there. They actually bought Periscope, and it's tightly integrated into Twitter. Compare that to 1.86 billion monthly active users on the Facebook platform in 2016, and it's probably more today. You can understand that these social networks have a massive global reach. Snapchat, for instance, at 301 million. These services are doubling year on year as they are adopted, and all of them have some level of support for live video. Bear in mind that on Snapchat you are able to do one-to-one video. You have to be aware of some of these features are not necessarily obvious when you first use the app. Facebook bought Instagram, so you can see where that might be going. They're kind of buying that audience that was already there. You can do live video over there as well. So I'm trying to inform you of the access that the world outside has to your child, has to you, your teenagers. I just want you to be aware that sometimes it's not just posting a video, it's not just posting a picture. A lot of these services allow you to do live streaming, and that geolocation, you need to make sure on the majority that is turned off. All right, 1.2 for Snapchat: how to stay in control, find friends, block and delete, and reporting the problems. So in privacy settings, you can decide on who can send you snaps and who can view your stories. Please go and have a look in the privacy settings. If you're setting this up for the first time, please do this together with your kids. You can maintain a level of privacy by unticking allow my friends to find me under the mobile number. You can tap username to block and delete. Block prevents snaps from happening and chat all from viewing, and delete is to completely remove that person. If you receive or see offensive content inside the application, select the gear icon. You can select support and follow through the links to report that. Be aware of what those geo filters do inside of Snapchat as well. And if you add a geo filter, people know what area you're in. I always suggest to anybody who's doing any kind of geolocation, maybe you want to say that you're on holiday in New York. I always say to anybody who's tagging anything on any social platform, especially if it's geolocated, you want to say that you were in a certain place. Always do it when you're leaving. Never do it when you're arriving. That gives time in the local area for people to get near your location. If you still want the benefit of the geolocation, logging into something so that the brand or the shop or the store knows that you've been to that place, please check in when you leave rather than check in when you arrive. That's a massive big power tip. Although stories only last for 24 hours, double check the privacy settings that it's not going out to everyone. Make sure it's going to just your friends or a group of people that you've built. 1.3 then, quick privacy and safety Instagram checklist you should understand before using the app. Instagram has a simple setting in options for either public or private. Consider every post that you make. Does it need to be public? Can you send that direct to your friend? Learn how to utilize the Instagram direct feature to send to either a private group of friends or just direct to another person. You might not need to send that public. Do think about it. Spend that extra few seconds making an informed decision as to what you're trying to do, who you're trying to reach, reach and why. Make sure you add friends when you are together to make sure you have the right details so you can see it pop up on either screen. Instead of somebody writing it down, you may get a 0 wrong, you might get a letter wrong. Make sure that username is exactly the person that you thought it was. Be careful when searching through any social media platforms because people can falsify information. Don't know who someone is that followed you? Learn how to block so they can't see your public posts. If you need to remove a comment on one of your posts, swipe to the left. You can delete or report. If someone is pretending to be you or you find content that is offensive, please select the report inappropriate and go through the steps. 1.4, controlling Facebook. Do you know friends who can see you? Deactivation and ad management. So search and go through the Facebook privacy checkup to make sure your settings are correct. Do a little Google search for this. It's a great little program website from Facebook to double check all your settings on your Facebook to make sure that you are locked down, if you like, you are secure, making sure that you've only got the contacts that you want to contact you. Consider what you want to share as well with your friends, school friends, and maybe work colleagues. Maybe some of that content isn't really applicable to your work colleagues and it's really just your little close network of friends and family. Please take control of your apps and games. Do not spam your friends with a request to join games. It's really frustrating. Understand and research tagging, when people can tag you in a photo and who can see it. Very important that if you're at a group party, you're going out at a club or you're going on holiday, it's very easy for somebody to tag you in a photo and you might not want to be tagged in that photo and displayed on your Facebook feed. You can go to facebook.com/report. It's really useful. For instance, if you have a friend that posts a really embarrassing photo of you that you don't like and you want to get taken down, you can do this in a very nice way. To change the ads that you see, select about this ad where you have additional options to stop that kind of content. If you get in adverts about a certain topic that you really don't like or you're not interested in and it's getting repetitive, you can go on the about this ad and there's a variety of different options you can select there. All right then, 1.5, Twitter and protecting privacy, unfollowing, deleting content and deactivation. So Twitter hit prime time when celebrities and public figures started using it, especially TV and radio became mainstream. Everybody knows that you get these little lower thirds on the screen saying tweet us at hashtag this. When you set up a Twitter account, it is automatically public. Anyone can see those tweets. So do make sure when you're setting up a Twitter account for the first time that you decide if you're going to have it private or public, who you're going to have following you. You can use protect your tweets, which is a setting inside of the profile panel, which will notify you that someone wants to follow your tweets. Instead of it just being public and anybody seeing your tweets, you can get an email message to let you know that somebody would like to see your tweets, and then you can make a decision if you know them or if you want to allow them to see any of your tweets that are going out. The verified blue tick next to a person's name is often used for celebrities, famous people, and public figures, people who have been verified to be that person. The reason why they do the verified blue tick is because they're trying to protect that person's identity. Sometimes identity theft can happen. People can set up anonymous fake Twitter accounts to pretend to be your favorite celebrity or famous person, and so this is a way of trying to combat that. Learn to use the unfollow and muting tools. If these are not enough, you can also block people as well. To delete a tweet, use the triple dots to select delete. Also, if you want to unfavorite something you've accidentally liked, hit the heart button twice by double tapping. All right then, the roundup. Core of this course is simple. I want you to be in full control of your social media apps, especially that geolocation. If you do one thing today, there's one takeaway from this. Please go into all the social media apps that you're considering of using and look at the geolocation. Is it switched on? Is it switched off? I still want you to get the digital benefits of checking in at places, but please check in when you leave, not when you arrive. That just gives you more time to be able to deal with a situation if something happened. If you check in and then you're there for an hour eating and there's somebody outside waiting for you, that could be a problem. I'm not trying to instill fear here. I'm just trying to protect you and create some safety. Learn how to be a good social media citizen and understand the platform's tool set. And by tool set, I mean find out all the features, find out about privacy. How are you going to deal with something to do with reputation management if you're starting to get a lot of nasty tweets, a lot of nasty messages through a certain platform? How do you deal with it? How do you deactivate your account? How do you block? How do you get in touch with the company? How do they deal with that situation? It's worth finding out before that situation happens. Don't be afraid to discuss anything that happens on a social media platform with your parents. If you're being bullied by somebody via social media, media, please go to a parent, please go to an adult and talk to them about it. Approach them about it. Do not keep it to yourself and let it carry on. Please go to an adult. Most of all, I want you to have fun on these social networks, and that's why I did this course. It's kind of just a basic primer, an overview on just 4 social media platforms, and there's lots of social media platforms out there. Be safe on the web. I hope this helped. I'll see you soon. Be Safe 2017. Be Safe 2017. Get automatic updates of new courses. teamhumble.link/me. Get behind the scenes email updates. teamhumble.link/BTS. Would love to see you on the live show. teamhumble.link/livestream. For live stream event Facebook notifications, go to teamhumble.link/FB. Be safe on the web. Watch what you're doing on the web. Make sure you understand your privacy settings. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.